Hello, just a quick note before this video begins. I talk about Gary's Mod and Source Filmmaker models a lot in this video, and if you don't understand what that is, that's why I'm making this message, because I wasn't really thinking about how little people actually understand that. So basically, whenever I say models, pretend I'm saying art, and whenever I say Gary's Mod or Source Filmmaker, pretend I'm saying Tumblr, and you'll probably get this a lot better. However, if you do know what Gary's Mod and Source Filmmaker are, and you're familiar with add-ons and stuff, more power to you. I hope you understand and enjoy this video a little better because of that. So thank you, and talk to you later.
I know it's not proper YouTube etiquette to complain about having to re-record something, but holy crap. Anyway, hello everyone, I Like Trains 2 here. Today I would like to make another little fandom analysis video because you guys really like the Cuphead one. So, like I said, I had to re-record this several times. First time's due to me sucking, second time's due to Max sucking. Anyway, let's get started. Right into it. Okay, so Five Nights at Freddy's vs. Cuphead. Let's start with the story of Five Nights at Freddy's. So basically, Five Nights at Freddy's is a game made by Scott Cawthon, kind of out of spite, if you will, because of a certain disrespect towards his games. Basically, it's actually a really, sad story with a lot of dynamics to it. I'm not really doing it justice by explaining it here, but since I'm trying to be very general, I just want to, get through it quickly. Basically, Scott Cawthon releases the game to pretty much universal acclaim. Everyone thinks it's really interesting. Not everyone thinks it's super fun, but everyone really likes the lore. Anyways, so over on the Steam Workshop, which I'm going to talk about a bit in this because I think the Steam Workshop, especially like Gary's Mod and Source Filmmaker, are actually very pivotal to Fandoms because that's where a lot of the fan animations are made. So basically, over on the Steam Workshop, a model pack is released in Gary's Mod and Source Filmmaker of the four main Five Nights at Freddy's characters. The models are made by a model creator named Ignis. Now these models, while they're decent models, they're a lot cuter and softer than the real, accurate Five Nights at Freddy's characters. Now this isn't inherently a bad thing, however, this sort of takes away their scary edge, and the game is meant to be scary. So basically, not only due to these models, but these models are a big factor in it, the fandom starts to look at the more childlike, fun, Chuck E. Cheese aspect of Five Nights at Freddy's than the scary, whole child crime and dark aspect of Five Nights at Freddy's with the ghosts and whatnot. Now, the fandom kind of starts off rather tame, but what really attracts the people who appreciate it more for the whole cute character side of things are the people who come from watching Markiplier's playthrough of the game. Now, I respect Markiplier as a creator. I enjoy what he makes every once in a while, but his fandom is unfortunately rather toxic, let's be honest here. So basically, it's a perfect storm. We've got a game that is released with characters that aren't inherently cute. Someone makes models of them that are rather cute, and then we have a big group of people who like cute things. And of course, bam, it explodes. Now, and another thing that totally fuels this fandom is the fact that Scott was constantly pumping out pretty decent games. Now, of course, this fandom of Markiplier's has a pretty low attention span, so that's actually really good to keep them fueled by constantly giving out games. And in between these games, you basically have these really weird, uncomfortable fan Source Filmmaker videos being made. And not to point out anyone specific, but ZachJew37 makes really creepy, really weird ones, so if you want to be weirded out, if you want a reason to hate the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom, watch those. Anyway, so basically that's kind of how the Five Nights fandom carries on for a long time until Scott starts slowing down the production of the games. They come out a lot slower and they're a lot more unique and high quality now. However, that's at the expense of the fan base not only growing up, but still having too short of an attention span to really pay attention.
I'm sorry, I did not realize how stupid that sounded when I recorded that. I meant to say the fanbase doesn't have a long enough attention span to wait for the new games to come out. I should have redone that take, but now editor Caleb has to go download the Monty Python intermission theme, so thank you, past Caleb. You messed things up.
Now where we're at right now is basically the Source Filmmaker Workshop is really the only place we still see a lot of Five Nights at Freddy's content, other than channels playing fan games. That's basically all we have really right now, is the Five Nights at Freddy's fandom has mainly gone silent other than that. Anyway, now I want to talk about Cuphead. Cuphead was designed by the Moldenhauer brothers, and it started production around 2010, came out September 29th of 2017 to universal acclaim, and people thought it was hard. Now I think that's also an important factor into determining what will happen to Cuphead, is how hard it is. Like I said, the Five Nights fandom, they have a pretty low attention rate, so of course they're not going to want to stick around for a very long, very difficult game. But anyway, back to the story of Cuphead. All we really have at this point is weird art and totally stupid ships. There's not really anything stranger than that. I mean, then again, I guess that is kind of a big deal considering there's ships like Calamaria and Mugman for some reason, and then we have a Cagney and the Blind Spectre for some reason. And let me tell you, the true ship is Rumor Honeybottom's ex Cagney, but that's just my 2 cents. I should cut that out.
Yeah, no, you're not getting jack squat cut out considering what you did to me.
Anyway. So yeah, honestly, where we are at now, I talked about it in my other video, the Cuphead fandom really isn't that bad. I think we were just kind of anticipating this blow because of it's an indie game, and all indie games up to this point have had really weird and bad fandoms, especially Undertale. I should make a video of that game on its own, but no one will watch it because no one cares about Undertale anymore. What I actually see going on right now is not what's going on with Five Nights at Freddy's, but somewhat what's gone on with Undertale. There was a massive focus on just Sans and Papyrus with Undertale because those were the notable characters. There was a huge oversaturation of models of just them. And that's kind of what's going on with Cuphead and Mugman. There's not necessarily an oversaturation, but you know, you've got your options when looking for models. However, in a more general scope of the fandom in general...
No, redundant is not my middle name. My middle name is, in fact, Brown Bricks.
Yeah, they are actually kind of alike. You know, we've got really weird ships, we've got unnecessary fan comics that don't accurately portray the characters, we've got oversaturation of models with the main 2 characters, and lower quality with the other. Well, I wouldn't say the whole lower quality thing's really happening with the Cuphead models at this point, because with the Undertale models, there was a big problem with low quality other characters, only high quality Sans and Papyrus. But yeah, the two fandoms are inevitably similar, but what really gave the Undertale fandom its traction, what really made people want to check Undertale out, was basically the YouTube videos where people would just take a vine and put relevant Undertale characters over the people in the vine's head. And that was actually huge. Those got tons and tons of views. And I mean, if you go back to my old favorites, from the time I actually liked Undertale, it's full of those. It's ridiculous. Like, I'm ashamed, but that people ate that stuff up. They thought it was good. They thought it was entertaining. And there's like 3 of those for Cuphead, you know? Because I think Cuphead has this unique edge where its characters aren't super defined. Like, they do follow that classic rule with characters where they need to be like, where you know, you should look at them and you should be able to tell their personality. So yeah, you can gather a personality from them, but you don't get that clear-cut, very obvious, very, you know, handed to you personality like you do in Undertale. And I think that's why my opinion is that the Cuphead fandom will probably, fingers crossed, be more like just a traditional games fandom. While indie game fandoms have had kind of this history of being overly toxic, overly saturated, way overhyped, and just ridiculous and off the walls, when we look to games like Mario and I was gonna say Sonic, but that's not true. Sonic has a bad fandom. You know, like, but more like, you know, Metal Gear, Zelda, Mother. Mother has actually a really homely, kind, welcoming fandom. I love Mother. Don't want to get too into that. That's not what this video is about. But I think it's going to be a fandom more like that, where people just say, wow, this is incredible source material. I should respect it. And of course, there will always be the people who draw weird things. So yeah, I honestly think Cuphead's safe. I mean, again, I can't say for sure. I'm not super good at predicting these things, but I feel like I've kind of had a decent scope on what fandoms are going to be like, because, you know, at a time, I was really into that kind of stuff. I'm not like the whole, like, you know, weirdo C's and stuff like that, but I was always part of that, like, theory ring where we're always thinking about our games and we're always making pictures of our characters and, you know, drawing and, you know, my thing, I did like drawing, but I also really loved making pictures in Gary's mod. That's why I know so much about the Steam Workshop. But really, I do think Cuphead's safe, and I'm glad I can say that with, you know, relative certainty. Now, there's a couple things I want you to take away from this video. One, don't judge a fandom just by what kind of game it is. Seriously, Cuphead is just a labor of love, and I feel like its fandom's going to respect that, at least part of it. Two, don't ship Mugman x Calamaria. It makes no sense. It's weird. I don't like it. I don't know why it's so oversaturated and prominent. Good night. Seriously, don't do it.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say thanks for watching, and I'm sorry if this video is a little lower quality than usual. I'm just going through a hard time in my life right now, and it's hard for me to always keep that A+ attitude. But anyway, I'm not going to let what's going on in my life stop me from talking about what I want to talk about and stop making content for you. So don't worry, I'm not going anywhere yet. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video.